We recently had a community meeting with Supervisors David Chu, Supervisor Eric Marr, and Supervisor Carmen Chu. So we had a community meeting over, I'm going to say 200, 300 people showed up. And when you look at the audience, there were different languages that were spoken, there were different ethnicities, and there were different ages. And it was, to me, that was shows how much we've grown. You know, we were able to bridge all these different people in one space, and then you realize that we all still have very much a lot of issues that we care about in common, whether it be housing, whether it's senior care, whether it's, you know, the budget crisis right now.
Yeah, and those are things that pretty much everyone
cares about that.
about.
It doesn't matter what ethnicity or whatever. So I thought that was just, to me, one of the, you know, it was a great example of what CAA does now and what it does really well.
Yeah. And it reflects, I think, the way, you know, our society is changing, not just in San Francisco, but everything from the White House on down. That there's an understanding that, you know, representation is important, representation is necessary, but it's not sufficient. That ultimately it is about what we stand for, and that if we're able to connect with people who share our values and want to make, you know, San Francisco more compassionate, more inclusive, then, you know, that's what we have in common, probably first and foremost, and that our experiences as members of minority groups, whether it's racial minorities, whether it's women, whether it's the gay and lesbian community, those things ought to lead us towards a better understanding of how to be more empathetic and to understand the challenges that different communities face because they are different.
And do you think it's sort of, I know that it was started in San Francisco and that's where you guys are based out of, and do you think that is relevant? I mean, of course it is in some way. It's sort of San Francisco and the Chinese community. How do those things work together?
Well, you know, the Chinese American community and the Asian American community are quite large in San Francisco. Over a third of the residents in San Francisco are now of Asian or Pacific Islander descent. And so to me, at least, I think if there's going to be a home base for a progressive Asian American community, it has the best chance of starting and growing from San Francisco. At the same time, we recognize that there's a need to do this work in other places, and, you know, in conjunction with some of our partner organizations, we started an office in Sacramento where we were able to work on statewide legislation and public policy that has, you know, ramifications throughout California. And, you know, we obviously care a lot about what happens in Washington, D.C. and, you know, in the budget process now, looking at where immigration reform goes. We know that it's, you know, you've got to be rooted locally, but with an eye always towards how you organize in your neighborhoods, in your communities, but, you know, build the coalitions to be able to affect greater change on a broader scale.
And do you have sort of partner organizations that you work closely with in the city, and what are they, and what do they do for you, or what do you do for them, or how do you guys stay connected?
Well, you know, there's a whole bunch. I mean, I'd say there's dozens and dozens. We're a part of a number of immigrant rights groups that right now are working to protect the sanctuary ordinance, to make sure that the city ID card program is fully implemented, looking at strengthening some of the language access laws that we have in our city. And, you know, and these groups represent, again, sort of the very wide range of diversity in San Francisco, groups from the Mission, groups from Southeast San Francisco, groups from Chinatown. And, you know, I think, again, there's a collective interest in, you know, in promoting things that will benefit everybody. You know, I think historically we've also worked, and this is one thing that makes CAA unique, not just with community-based groups, but the groups that have some of the legal expertise to be able to take cases to court when you're not able to organize sufficiently. And, you know, right now, through one of our projects, API Equality, we're actively involved in trying to repeal or overturn Proposition 8. And we know that, you know, in addition
so you guys are out there just working for any civil human rights that you can get your hands on.
Right.
Is that sort of your long-term goals, or what's your sort of goals as an organization, or as a board member, or as the director? What do you guys hope to achieve while you're there?
Well,
in your life, what do you want to achieve?
World
Where do you want to be in the next 5 years? No.
Well, I think it is to create an inclusive society where everybody has equal opportunities to basic rights. You know, whether, like I said earlier, whether it be education, whether it be employment, or the right to marry, or just to be able to participate in our, you know, society equally is my version. But I'm sure Vincent will be much more eloquent.
No, I mean, I think that, you know, at the end of the day, for viewers who are watching, you know, that's what we want folks to know, that CAA is about creating a world that works for everyone, because ultimately that's the only world that works. As an organization, I think it means tapping into whatever strategies we need to be able to affect change. It means reaching new communities, because communities are constantly evolving. It's very organic. and that the future is bright. And I think that in any given moment things may look hard, things may look difficult, but we do see we do see things bending towards justice, and I think that for CAA to be a part of that is something that's a privilege.
And I don't, this might be weird, but like, what is the formula for justice? Not like there would be a formula, but what are your sort of, there's like the legal and then there's the personal, sort of what are the avenues that you guys take?
It's grassroots organizing, it's media and communications, and it's policy advocacy. And so it's all at various different levels. And really the heart of CAA is the grassroots organizing, in my opinion, and that is to empower people to speak for themselves. And so the more you wake people up, the more they can see, I guess. And we saw this, in Barack Obama's election, that people finally woke up. And we hope to do the same thing with the emerging Asian American movement.
Oh, good. Well, it all sounds great to me. I'm glad that you guys are out there doing that. If people are watching and want to get involved, do you guys do volunteer work, or how would people be able to get involved with the organization?
Well, go on our website. It's www.caasf.org. Right? Yeah.
It's on the screen. Don't worry, they can read it. But you said it correctly.
And there's all kinds of information there. Sign up to volunteer. Sign up to be part of our list. And then you can find out, events that are coming up. And also, we have a lot of events coming up this fall for our 40th anniversary. In particular, on September 9th, 2009, we're having our...
Mark the calendar.
I know,
it's a few months away.
It's a very auspicious date.
Yes.
Well, that's good.
We're having our big fundraiser celebration event.
Right. But coming up very quickly, next Wednesday, February 25th, we're part of a number of organizations who are sponsoring a town hall meeting about the issues that are facing immigrants right now. They'll be at the Horace Mann School at 5:30, and we need to have a frank conversation about some of the racial profiling that's happening against immigrants right now. We need to have a frank conversation about the way the economy is turning affects how we think about people who don't look like us, and I think all of these things are coming to a head, and as a community, as a city, we have to be strong and say that we're not going to scapegoat any one group, that really the way we get through this is by understanding that we're all in it together.
And at a town hall meeting, can anyone just show up and talk, or is it, do you have just regular folks there? Do you have some board members from maybe the city, or how does it work so everyone
It's a town hall meeting. It's a town hall meeting. So if you're in the town, you can come
on down.
If you're in the town, come on down. That's a good
Horace Mann
tagline.
Middle School. Yeah.
Oh, good. And they can find the information on the website, right?
Yes.
Oh, good. And do you have anything else that you really want to send out there? Any sort of messages you want to send to the city of San Francisco in 2 minutes?
Well, I think, for me, it's to appreciate just how diverse the Asian American community is, to understand there's a wide range of political viewpoints, and that, that CAA is working to strengthen and grow, the progressive Asian American community, and not in a political way, but progressive in the sense that, we continue to push the envelope to be able to create a society that is more inclusive, and that for us, that's what being progressive is about. And for folks who are out there who'd like to help out and get involved, again, via our website or by emailing us, and I think our email addresses are up there. There's all sorts of things that individuals can do, whether it's getting involved in campaigns or volunteering or donating time, money, that folks should feel like that they can make a difference.
Oh, good. And for you gotta say something. Okay. Come on, it's your chance.
I think for me, it's heeding President Obama's call for a new era of service. Really, we, to empower people to get involved in their communities, whether it's just, if you're a parent, getting involved in your PTA, or, helping out with a nonprofit that you care about. Anything that you can do will really help, especially in this type of economy. I'm sure nonprofits are hit hard. They can welcome any kind of help, whether it be monetary or your time.
And it's not only you helping the organization, it really is for your own
it's fun.
Good and
it's
sake, and
fun,
you meet people and talk about things.
And create community, and connect. Very important.
Good. Oh, good. Well, if you would like more information about Chinese for Affirmative Action, you can go to their website, which is on screen probably. I don't know what it is, caasf.org. So don't forget the SF. I would like to thank my guests tonight, Vincent Pan and Stephanie Ong. Thank you guys for being
you
here.
so
Thank you.
much.
And informing us all and informing me, and it was very fun and informative. My name is Rebecca Taff. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday, and I will see you next week.